Kymberly Keeton is an esteemed leader in our community. Her personality, interests, and contributions to Austin culture defy any one job title. This incredible woman doesn't just fit into one little box.
She was named an American Library Association Emerging Leader in 2015.
In 2019, she began work as the African American Community Archivist and Librarian at the Austin History Center.
She suggests genealogy as a good tool for uniting the histories.
Her work at the Austin History Center preserving, uncovering, and sharing the too often neglected stories of Austin's Black community through research events, lectures, and genealogy workshops.
I've been a community liaison sent here to tell you the goodness about Austin's history. And no, it's not beautiful, but then again, it is beautiful. Being that slavery ended, I-35 was built. We have two institutions on two separate sides of the freeway here. And in 2021, we just had a situation with weather. And the side of UT had lights, electricity, and running water. But the east side, which is now populated pretty much by Caucasian people, got a glimpse of what Black people have been through since 1842, 1824, when Austin was built. Will say one of the things that sparked my interest when I moved here was the 1928 master plan, which just compelled me to continue to go out and to tell the good news about Austin, Texas. Huston-Tillotson was the first institution in Austin as far as academic, not UT. So I make sure I say that in every interview so people can understand the logistics here, that UT wiped out an entire community. Wheatville, that was a Black community before UT got there. And that is why UT is there today, because they wiped out that entire Black community. Another reason why my position is so important in Austin is that it also deals with genealogy. And I offer that to, those individuals that I get to speak to in those committee meetings and those, development meetings, that you need to know your own history, because for every Black person, there's a white slave owner. And I know that may sting and that may hurt, but that's the truth. How else do you want me to put it? How else do you want me to say it? How modest do you want me to be when I say that? Because I don't know how else to say it, but for every Black person, there is a white counterpart that played a part in that. And your family is alive, just as my family is alive. No, I'm not saying you were the person that did this to my family, but you need to look in your history to see who those slave owners were, so you can come to terms with your own history. And I believe that once that takes place in these United States, not just Austin, these United States, we're going to get to a whole different mindset, because people will become, I pray that this happens, that people become comfortable with their history, that you know your history. And once you know your history, it gives you a sense of freedom. Because I'm not saying every white person has a family that enslaved someone else, but you may have lived next door to a family that enslaved, and your family knew that family. So let's get to know that history. African American people were not named in the United States Census until 1870. So after 1870, you're going to 1860. 1860, those slave owners did not list names. They listed numbers. Now, some of the documents have names, if you can find wills and stuff like that. But typically, when you get to 1860, that's when you're trying to find the slave-owning families. And that's what I teach in genealogy. When you get to 1860, we searching for white people now. And that's the only way I can say it. Like, we're searching for them. So, you never know. You can be an angel in disguise to a Black family and give them all of their history, because it's your history. And then, of course, y'all can have a family reunion then. Like, you know what I'm saying? And have some good conversations and good talks. There's a long lost somebody that you should do your best to find and just sit down and have a conversation. And then go find the Black people. That's what you got to do. Because when you find them, then you can sit and hear the stories that they've been told from their ancestors. And then we can sit here and we can talk about this process. Because I want you, like, if I were a Caucasian and I was placed in that situation, I would want to sit down with them and be like, yo, I need you to understand it wasn't me. It was not me. It was my history. And I need you to understand my thought process and who I am and what my family needs. And, let's be friends. Let's develop something here because our history is interjoined, but just, it doesn't matter what age you are, take the time out to learn more than just about yourself. Because that's the only way you're going to be able to sit down and have these conversations with other people. Because it's not just Black history. It's not. It's Asian history. It's Indian history. Like, we don't even talk about that. But, like, yeah. But I thank you for this interview today. And thank you for this opportunity to be able to share just a little bit of what I do and who I am and what I believe in and what I represent. And I hope I'm representing Austin, Texas well.